Hi and welcome to Oracle Insight, Gemini, Sun, Moon and Rising signs out there. I hope you are all doing very well. Now we are going to be looking at the energies for you, Gemini, for the month of January 2022. Okay. Now we're going to select some good tarot cards here. Now I can see with all these cards in reverse, it does point to some challenging energies. Oh, actually I forgot to choose the Black Moon Oracle cards, astrology cards I should say, but that's fine. I shall choose those next. Yeah, so what was I saying? You've got courage in reverse, as well as happy success here in reverse. And then that one there is consciousness deserving in reverse. All right, so it does point to, with the courage card in reverse here, it does point to a possibility of a challenge around you in January that's going to require that you step out of your comfort zone in some way. Now, even if you are wanting to kind of avoid it, ignore it, step in the other direction of it, that card is suggesting that it does require you to, okay, you've got Taurus, it does require you to actually, or at least it would be more beneficial for you to actually step up to the challenge in this situation, whatever that situation is. So with Taurus and you might be experiencing a situation where you're having to take a stand about something within your sphere of ownership or within your sphere of responsibility that has been brought to your attention and you are needing to address it. But look, you've got the nine of water here, 9 of cups. So there is this sense of, do you see here? I really see that as a sense of gentle confidence. That's what I'm getting from that. So, this is showing up for you. So that's something that you can certainly claim for yourself. And you've got another water element here with Ace of Water. So that's the Ace of Cups. This is really speaking to that emotional connection within yourself. All right. And that's going to be very supportive with addressing this happy success in reverse as well as the deserving, because that is talking, because these are consciousness cards. Can you see that? Consciousness. Let's put that up right. Consciousness there. So this is speaking to your thought patterns, your outlook in life, the things that you're telling yourself, the things that you're allowing to replay in your mind. This outlook is suggesting that there is a bit of negativity going on. With happy success, you're not quite seeing the positives, or at least if you are, you're not focusing on them enough. And that is very important. You must support that inner environment for that happy success that card points to. All right, but look, you've got this emotional support and reservoir. I'm actually believing that is within you, because I think this gives me a sense that you actually normally would have that happy disposition, but there is the energies present during that time is just weighing heavy on you, and that normally happy disposition is being challenged. And with the deserving there, that card there in reverse, so that is, once again, this is about those thought patterns that don't serve you, those thought patterns that have you in a fear consciousness, a sense of lack, which then kind of feeds into that sense of not deserving. Can you see that deserving card, that deserving there? a tone or an influence of unworthiness in there, which is not you at all, Gemini. So we don't want that, because the cards here are really supporting you, because you've got Chariot too. So it seems to me like you've actually got a lot of supporting energies in your favor to cope with whatever challenges are about during this time. Because you've got the Chariot here coming out. Do you know, this is about a powerful movement through and forward. And that is something that is very, very possible for you, right? So we want to harness that energy as much as possible to, you know, leverage our movement through this time, because, you know, that's what we want for this to dissipate, go through its kind of wave, and then away it goes. And look, you've got the Fool here, you've got Three of Wands and the Hermit. Okay, whatever it is that, whatever challenge is coming up for you, the Fool is suggesting that that challenge could definitely be a springboard into a new stage, a new sphere of your journey, of your experiencing of life. There's something here that, do you know, whether it's that experience itself that the Fool is referring to, or it could be the fact there is another external kind of circumstance or situation that is going to be around for you. Because given that you've got the Three of Wands here too, now that's talking to, do you know, there's some expansion happening here. There is work that's already been put in to establishing whatever this man here has created, and now he's where he is, waiting upon a bit of the return of the efforts that he's put into whatever it is that he's created. So, do you know, that is really wonderful. And with the Ace of Cups here, Ace of Water, that's fantastic, because it does suggest with this infinite supply from the Ace of Cups, do you know, which is the normal infinite supply that the Ace of Cups points to in the traditional tarot, with the water streaming into and then flowing out of, and it's like this eternal cycle. See, this is speaking to that, and the fact that you're harnessing that leverage and that supply, and there is some kind of creation, some kind of expansion there. We've got the Hermit too, so this is about, do you know, I think consciousness cards, and also of course the Courage. These cards are suggesting with the Hermit here that this is just one of those life experiences that, yes, I know it's obviously when you're going through life experience, it's not easy, absolutely not, especially when they really throw you for a loop, or just have things upside down, inside out. But the Hermit is the one, is you. It's you benefiting from that experience, taking negatives as well as the positives, and actually learning from that, being able to record that, lodge that within yourself, to, you know, take forward as you go through in life, because from that introspection and from that learning curve, you're the one that's benefiting. Fantastic. Okay, so what am I going to get now? I'm going to get Wisdom of the Oracle card. I'll get one of those for you. Especially with the Taurus there, and I have, you know, that definitely could speak to some kind of challenges to do with finances, potentially real estate, home. Yeah, anything to do with resources. Now, let's see what we have here for you. Oh, soulmates. Oh, well, that's interesting. Now, that's a different one to come out, given I don't see anything to do with relationships. All right, so I'm going to get another one. But, you know, it could be that that's a suggestion that at this time you have a soulmate around you, somebody who has been supporting you. You know, you've got a very deep and meaningful bond with that person. There is a soulmate connection. I mean, I like to look at it. I know this is the image really does suggest a partnership, as in, you know, with another, but I also think that's about having a connection within yourself, having that link and connection with your higher self, you understanding your own worth, understanding that you are a divine soul in physical form, and really appreciating, nurturing and looking after yourself. And with clean it up. Okay, so this is once again talking to this happy success, deserving card there as well in reverse. That is just once again just reiterating that there are so many positives here. However, let's also be very practical about acknowledging that things need to be sorted out, cleaned up, cleaned out in order for these energies to move through. So that's what we need to focus on, all right? Yeah, you've got this, Gemini, no worries. Absolutely. All right then, so Gemini, that is the insight I have for you. I wish you all the best. Take care of yourselves, be safe, be well, and I shall connect with you again in another reading. Hello and welcome to all our Libras out there. This came out, this seemed to want to present itself for you. As I was saying, sun, moon and rising signs for Libras out there. Now we are going to look at your January 2022 energies. See what kind of guidance might be on offer for you. Okay. Now I'm going to choose a Black Moon astrology card. This will give an indication of potential theme, 7th house and partners. Now I'm going to look at some, good tarot. What's that one? Hierophant, all right. You've got Page of Earth here. Let's do another one. 4 of Water. All right then. So Libra, what do we have here? We've got Dark Thoughts and Consciousness in reverse here. You've got Sacred Temple, Spirit. And then you have Cycle with Increase. All right, so Dark Thoughts and Consciousness, this is speaking to, can you see this image here of this person going into a maze here? Now, the great thing is about this card in reverse is it's speaking to you coming out of a period where you may have been overwhelmed with dark thoughts, negative repeating thought patterns. You know, all that keeps you down and stuck, feeling unhappy, the low vibe kind of thing. And so this is really pointing to you coming out of that. Right now, with the Sacred Temple and the Spirit card, this is actually talking to you having a connection with divine. It is encouraging you to build upon that connection. If it's not something that you have looked into previously, this is a good sign that now is the time to do so, because you have access to a lot of guidance, a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. And it's within your soul, in your ability to tap into that and build that connection with spirit. So this is a fabulous indication of that. I love it. And with the increase and cycle, I mean, this is literally talking to you moving into a period of abundance. Okay, and I love that this Page of Earth is here, because this is really speaking to the beginnings of such abundance. It's about laying the foundations. It's about building upon opportunities. So you might actually come across some opportunities in January that is going to lead towards something that's going to be very beneficial for you. in the material sense. Now you've got the Four of Cups here, Four of Water, which does speak to disappointments, which kind of matches up with this dark thoughts here. Now that can speak to you, you know, just being cautious. I'm getting a sense of cautiousness here. Yeah, some disappointments. Now with this being in reverse, you've got a handle of that, so that's really good. I don't see this as upsetting the balance too much, but it's very good to be mindful and aware of those potential energies, because you want to keep on top of that, all right? You need to have that mindfulness about you in terms of your energetic vibration, because we really want it to be as much as possible steady and even, right? So that's fantastic. Now the 7th house and partners. Now that could speak to relationships. It could also speak to business partnerships. And given that there's a cycle of increase here to do with the external, it could be that you are entering into a period of business partnership. It could also mean that you and your significant other are moving into experiencing more abundance together. And so whether it's possible that you're actually entering into some kind of venture together, I mean, that's possible there as well. But it certainly does point to a very beneficial time, and the Hierophant there too. I really see this as supporting this awareness of the thought patterns that haven't served you and claiming your authority over that. And this links up very well with the Sacred Temple and the Spirit card there, because that's, you know, the Hierophant can also point to that connection and support that connection with the divine. But that is certainly, I see this as like a mastery. There's an element of mastery in this. Okay, because you know you've had to go through a learning curve and you've learnt those lessons very well, so that's really fantastic. All right, so enough shuffling there. Let me just pull these cards. So let us have a look what we've got. Oh my gosh, the Sun, fabulous. Look, and that's, you know, that just reiterates the movement out of this dark thoughts energy. Fantastic, love that. Let's have another one. Oh, Two of Cups. Oh, fantastic. Look, you've got Two of Cups with the 7th house and partners. That is talking to a union, a balance, a sense. Oh, an Eight of Pentacles too. All right then. So you've got Page of Pentacles, Page of Earth there, and Eight of Pentacles, and then you've got Two of Cups. As I was saying, that speaks perfectly to this sense of partnership, these bonds that are very nurturing, that are very harmonious for you. Keep that going, support that. You have that around you. You have that with a loved one or somebody very special. If it is to do with a business situation, then this speaks to a harmonious business partnership. Okay, you know, the Eight of Pentacles. So this is talking about honing your craft. It's talking about advancing, developing your skill sets. And so if this is to do with a business venture or project, so you've been working on it for some time, and now it is going to move into a period of potentially a payoff. Yeah. And if it's too early for that for some of you, then this is still an indication that you are building that resource up. You're developing it, you're putting in the efforts, and those efforts are not wasted, they're not lost, they count. And I love that you've got the Sun here. I mean, goodness me, that's fabulous. That's winner, winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yeah, well. Okay, so that's all positive. Fabulous. So let's have a look at, okay, that seems to want to come out. What was that? Oh, fork in the road. Okay, I think you've taken that fork in the road. And if you haven't, then this is like notice for you to choose wisely if that comes up. And how you know that you are choosing wisely is actually by following that path that is away from this dark thoughts and the consciousness in reverse there. We don't want that. This is the path you need to take, the path of the sun, the path of awareness, of being centered, harmonious, diligent, and towards this abundance here and this connection with spirit. They go hand in hand. Oh, I love that. And I just can't help myself. I need to pull another card. So let's see what it says. Co-create. There you go. What was I just saying about this going in partnership? These two go together. The cycle of increase at the sacred temple means, 1 + 1 = 2 with co-create. This is what co-create's about. It's you connecting with the divine and manifesting through your physical form in this world. Wow. Libra, that is just superb. My gosh. All right, so congratulations. Libra, that is the reading I have for you. Take care of yourselves. All the best as you move forward. Be safe, be well, and I will connect with you again very soon in another reading. Hi, and welcome to our Aquarius Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. This reading is for the, when is it? It is for January 2022. That is what I'm trying to say, Aquarius. Now, third card down. All right, so now we are going to look at Black Moon astrology cards. What other theme might be? Oh, Taurus I have. That's actually shown up a few times in the reading. So all right then. Bit of a common theme there. Good tarot as well. So you've got travel, consciousness, deserving, and back and forth. The travel card could indicate some kind of movement. Now that could be movement as in obvious travel component, and that could be near or far. It also could be like a change of address as well. Now the deserving and consciousness, so that's really speaking to having a high sense of self-worth. It's understanding that the value that you experience or the abundance that you experience in the outer world is actually very relevant and connected to how it is that you feel about yourself. It's about that genuine self-worth. And I love that that is in the upright position, because that does speak to you having that sense of self-worth too. So now this is 4 of Cups here. This one is 5 of Wands. Then 8 of Wands. Okay, so now we have, lastly, you've got back and forth here. Intention. So this is being on a bit of a seesaw. Maybe it's in terms of your outlook. It could be in terms of behavior. But it's really pointing to not having a clear path or not making decisive moves or making decisions to take you forward. Instead, there's this back and forth movement going, and in the end, that means that you go nowhere. Okay, so let's look further into this. Now, you've got the King of Fire here, which speaks to the King of Wands. And then you've got 4 of Cups, 3 of Cups, that's 3 of Water, and you've got 5 Wands. So conflicting energies there with this one, and even with this one too. Interesting. And then you've got the 8 of Wands and the Empress. Well, we love the Empress because the Empress is talking to that abundance. It's talking to the luxuries. And look, you've got Taurus I have here. So this is perfect. This is like synchronistic supporting energies. We love that. Okay. Now, there might be a disappointment here when it comes to the travel plans, maybe. There could be this sense of, in some way, the travel plans or the change of address, this move, whatever. Oh, actually, do you know, and another thing that could be is like an internal shift. There's this kind of change, this inner travel, this inner movement in terms of, growth. All right, so either which way we take this form of movement. The King of Fire here and this Four of Cups, like as I was saying, this does speak to some kind of disappointment involved, some kind of, it's a bit like a disillusionment too. All right then, and now, so with this Three of Cups here, you've got Five of Wands, so there's some kind of conflicting energy here. Now, the Three of Water, that can speak to celebrations. It can also speak to connections, spending time with others. And it's an emotional card, which feeds that consciousness of deserving too. So with the Five of Wands there, now, whether that's actually pointing to some internal conflict that's going on that can sometimes challenge this deserving aspect or this deserving consciousness could be possible. And I suppose it's, I get the sense that it might be that trying to look on the bright side of something, but then you kind of remember whatever went wrong or that disappointment, and then you are thrown back into the midst of this inner turmoil or inner conflict, and then you try and bring yourself out and foster that gratitude, positivity, and it seems to be a bit of that. And so then you're going back and forth, back and forth. I think that I get a sense that that might be the case here. All right, and then with the Eight of Wands here and the Empress, I mean, this is talking to speed. This is talking to energy moving. This is talking to energy moving. So I really feel that, you know, with that there, I really get a sense that this is not something that's going to hang around for long if you're actually going back and forth in terms of your positive and negative energies. That sense of balance is kind of challenging for you. Yeah, I don't really see that that's going to persist. However, that being the case, though, it does require your attention to it, your awareness of that. Okay, so let's just be mindful of that as you go through this, whatever way that disappointment or disillusionment shows up. It's really about acknowledging that it is there, and then supporting yourself by whatever means to kind of get those energies to move through a lot faster, because you've got the Eight of Wands there, which really does speak to that speed. And beneath it, you've got the Empress. So foundation-wise, this is a very core energy. So we like that. We want that. And especially with the Taurus there, and I have. Now when I'm looking at this could be to do with, a change of address. In some way, shape or form, there is something that doesn't quite work out the way you had hoped it would do. And then that has caused a disappointment. And there could be a King of Fire, King of Wands here, that is kind of part of this mix with the disappointment. There might have been something questionable, or not questionable, but more about just decision-making times where that decision-making didn't quite go the way one would have hoped. So that may resonate with some of you out there, Aquarius. So I'm going to get the Wisdom of the Oracle card deck, and let us see what else we've got for you. But given that this consciousness card, deserving, is, I really feel that is actually something that you are, this kind of positive outlook is something that is very naturally you. But obviously when disappointments come along, you can't help but sometimes be immersed in it, can you? It's just about being mindful of that and then bringing yourself out of it. Now you've got Unfinished Symphony here and Fork in the Road. So this could actually speak to energies that are requiring a very, now this kind of comes in with another dimension here, another depth, because the back and forth and the fork in the road. So the fork in the road showing up here is actually asking for a decision to be made. Now, obviously, each of you will, if this resonates, each of you will be able to apply this interpretation to your situation and see how that fits. But certainly, given that this has come out with this card here and that back and forth seesawing of intention and decision making, this is really, it's time. Whatever's happening there, time to make a decision. All right. And it's about also taking ownership of your power to make that decision. Don't hand that decision-making opportunity and power off to someone else. Okay. That's about you taking ownership with that. Very good. And with unfinished symphony, if there is a decision to be made that is going to require some kind of change in a direction, this points to change, but not a complete severing. So once again, you'll have to apply that to your situation in whatever manner that does actually fit. Oh, and what if this is to do with, like, you've got a change of address here, and that house that you were looking at, that sealing of the deal didn't quite work. This could then point to the fact that this is just not the right time. The timing's not quite right for you, okay, for that home, and that there might be an opportunity somewhere in the future that allows you to revisit the purchasing or the moving into that home again. Oh, I like that interpretation. Okay, yeah, that's a possibility as well. Oh, how interesting. Okay, there we go then. So Aquarius, that is the reading I have for you. I wish you all the best through this time. Be safe, be well, and I look forward to connecting with you again in another reading.